Hi, I'm Billy Hubbard, the director of Second Chance Youth Ranch. Up next, we'll be interviewing Matt Brumley, the Saline County judge. Don't miss it. Hello everyone, thank you for watching Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host today, Billy Hubbard. I'm here with a special guest, my good friend, and the Saline County Judge, Matt Brumley. Matt, welcome.
Man, thank you for having me.
Good seeing you.
Did you kill all these animals?
Hey, you know, we don't say
Okay, we'll talk about
that later.
All right.
But you know, you're pretty much a local celebrity around Saline County. Everybody knows you. You've done a lot for the community, you're the Saline County Judge. But this show is broadcast statewide and in other states as well, surrounding states. So some people may not know who you are. So I want you to describe, kind of tell us about your life from childhood, where you grew up. Are you married? Do you have kids?
Yeah.
Your jobs maybe before you became elected for Saline County Judge.
Yeah, I'll go quick. I was born at a very early age in Dallas, Texas. And from there, I moved to McKinney, Texas, where I graduated high school, and kind of was at a crossroads in my life. Didn't have that we go to church family model of a mom and a dad. It was pretty janky start there with family, and so I thought that I was going to go to a 4-year school and do things, and really was not staying focused and focused on having a vision for what my future might look like. But man, praise God that I took a break from that, and that break looked like me moving to Arkansas, where my dad had retired and started a business, and I was just going to go to a 4-year school because I thought that's what you were supposed to do here. I ran into an incident when I was about 20 years old, which was a horrible traffic accident. I won't go into all of it, but it was absolutely devastating. Multiple fatalities. And I was the first vehicle that was not involved in the accident that had pulled up. And I got out and I didn't know what to do. I had seen CPR on TV, but had never done it. And it was horrible. And the lady that I was trying to help and assist ended up dying because of her injuries. And it just did something to me. And I said, I'm not going to be in that situation again where I don't know. I might not be able to help and have the outcome I want, but I'm going to be prepared the next time. And back then you couldn't Google CPR class or anything else. And the only CPR class I could find was offered prior to an EMT class as a prerequisite. And I thought, well, I'm good. I've got a great track record of starting something and quitting, so I'll just go do CPR and then quit and forget that EMT stuff. And I absolutely fell in love with just how awesome it is, the human body and what we can do. And so I thought I'll give it a whirl. And I went to this EMT school and I became an EMT. And then I said, I want more. And I was too young to be insured on the local ambulance service. So I moved to Pine Bluff. I didn't move to Pine Bluff. My job took me to Pine Bluff because they didn't care how old I was. They just cared if I had a driver's license. And what a wonderful place to become an EMT and learn. And then I went to paramedic school, went to Southeast Arkansas College, took some courses in emergency management, came back to Saline County at 26 years old, and applied for the director's job of the ambulance service. And clearly not many people applied because they hired me. I was like,
an applicant?
They called my bluff on this one. And I served at Saline Memorial Hospital here in Saline County, Arkansas, for almost the next 30 years. I was already working there part-time. And so as a full-time person, I was there about 26 more years.
So you were at the hospital there working, and also you were part of the Saline County Foundation, is that correct?
Yeah,
also?
So as we went through there, the ambulance service and being the director, and then serving as interim director of the emergency department, got to be part of the administration team, and then the nonprofit side, the health foundation, where we look around the community and we find gaps, and how can we fill those gaps, and how can we get community members to say, yes, we want We want to be a part of making our community healthier and greater and serving in our
Are
community.
you still doing that now, or do you resign that position since you're the judge?
Yeah, I'm no longer, I still do that.
You do?
But my card reads differently.
Okay, yeah.
It reads Saline County Judge.
Now, what about your family? Now, you was 26, I guess, when you started that job. Now, are you married? Do you have children? Tell us.
I married a Benton girl. She's a Benton Panther.
Go Panthers.
Yeah, Lori Parker is now Lori Brumley and has been for 27 years. And we have two 20-year-old twins, Josh and Jacob Brumley, and we have an 11-year-old daughter by the name of Maddie Grace. And she runs the house for the most part.
Sure, yeah.
She's a bully.
Can't believe your twins are 20.
20 years old, man. How crazy is that?
I remember years ago, y'all came out to the
when
ranch.
I found out we were having twins. And I freaked out, right? I had a golden retriever, went from a golden retriever to 2 kids. But what a blessing, man. What a dang blessing that has been.
This is not, the show is not about me, but we had twins. Went to the doctor, and the doctor showed the ultrasound, and it shows there's 1, there's 2. And I was like, what? And I almost like a panic. But we end up losing one of the twins about 20 weeks in. So, but we have a beautiful, healthy daughter, Brooklyn. She's 10 now, but we still pray for that twin. We named him Brennan, because I can't wait to go to heaven to meet Brennan.
Brennan's got it a lot better than we do, man.
Yes, exactly. So I was in that phase when I first found out, wow, we're having twins, what to do? I went from, I don't know if I can do this, to like excited about it, then the grief of losing that. But
it took a little while for me to get excited about it. I stayed in that panic stage for quite a while, but God's blessed us. My wife is absolutely incredible. She's got to be.
She is awesome.
to put up with me and those boys, and man, she's so loving and just my partner, my friend. Yes, we disagree, but we are for our family, for our house, and for the Lord.
She's great. Now we have about a minute and a half left. I want to. Now, a judge, you're the Saline County judge. A lot of people may not know exactly what that is. You hear a judge and you see Judge Judy, you see trial judges, you see all kinds of judges, and you, the Saline County judge, is basically the CEO of you're the CEO of the county.
That's exactly right. Now, it's weird. The Saline County judge does have a judicial side, but primarily executive. I do preside over county court, really interesting stuff like easements, prescriptive easements, taxation, high assessment, stuff like that is heard in the county court. I'm not the black robe, powdered wig guy behind a desk, nor am I a Judge Judy. My primary focus is all employees that don't report to an elected official, all county properties, all roads, all bridges, 911 service, Office of Emergency Management, the fairgrounds, all properties, the airport, all of those things. But first and foremost, an opportunity to serve people and hear from people and go out there and just do everything that I can, the best that I can. First and foremost, that is building a great team around us. And boy, do we have a great team in Saline County.
Our special guest today is Matt Brumley. Next segment, we'll be talking about foster care and his impact in the state of Arkansas. We'll be right back.
A mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2CYR.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Our special guest today is Matt Brumley, the Saline County Judge here in Saline County, Arkansas. Matt is a good friend of mine. We've known each other for probably 20 years almost, dealing with foster care, with our organization, and different nonprofits around the state. Matt, you are a former foster parent, correct? Here in the state of Arkansas?
That's right.
I'm sure I've done this for 20 years, being a foster parent, I got into this kind of a little bit scared. My wife really wanted to do it, but I was a little bit like, what does this look like? I'm the protector. I'm the one supposed to protect our children, our family, financially, physically. And I was a little bit concerned about that. Did you have any of those same apprehensions, or how did your journey start with foster care?
It's so good the way God handles me, because it's like if I give him too much time to think about it, he'll back out of it. So I just, bam, I'm gonna throw it at him. And so I was new to my faith and new to the church, and I remember one Wednesday night I went, and they showed this really terribly produced film that was put together by an organization called The Call. And when I say that lovingly. They didn't have the funds to do a high production film, but what stood out was, and I'll miss it by a little bit, but it said we have like 52 kids waiting for a home and only 23 homes. And man, it just resonated with me. Whoa, what are we gonna do? What are we going to do? What are people going to do? And in that moment, it's like, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, that Matthew West song, it's like, God, do something. He said, I did. I made you.
Right.
Now, that song wasn't out at that time, but I was like, I got to sign up. And if there are viewers out there, don't do things exactly the way I do. Because I went home and I had prayed on the way home and everything. My wife was working late. And about 2 weeks later, she gets a phone call. Back then we had landlines, right? She's on the phone. She's like, I think you got the wrong number. We didn't sign up for any foster care stuff. And I thought, oh, I forgot to tell you something.
You signed up.
I signed up and forgot to tell my wife.
Ooh.
So that weekend, don't do it that way. That weekend we went, bless her heart, I told you she's awesome. We went, we got trained up, and within a week we got a phone call. And it was for a family of 4. And the guy that went, my good friends with the EBs that went with us, they said, hey, there's 2 children that need a home. One's in diapers and one's not. Which one do you want? And I said, the one that's not in diapers. And they said it should be for 5 to 10 days. His name was Robert, and we got Robert, and we had him for 1 year.
Now, what year was this? Do you remember what year?
This would have been
before you had children?
No, we had our boys. Okay. Robert was 4. Robert is now 17, so it would have been about 13 years ago. Yeah. This child, Robert, was, and he does not mind me telling, I just hugged and loved on him just the other day. Because see what happened is after a year, the EBs who had his brother, Chris, they adopted them both.
Great.
And man,
locally here.
We went to the same church house together.
God is good.
So I see him all the time. Robert came into our house unkept, never had a toothbrush, had to pull his teeth, shave his head. That typically doesn't happen because of just the consistent, repetitive lice. He didn't want to count. He didn't want to read. And Robert today is an honors student. He has a 4.0. He is a stud swimmer. Yes. He is great at track. He's a great athlete, but a better person. He loves Jesus. Yes. And he used me just to get a glimpse. Yes. He used my kids. He used our house. He used my wife. And he says this. He says, what you do for them, you do for me. Matthew 25 is just ridden with that. And that's about people. And we can be used on the street, in your home, in your job. Man, we're all in the mission field. You can be used in a place out in the middle of nowhere that nobody even knows.
And we are.
But lives are being changed at a place called Second Chance Ranch. And it encourages each other. That's the church, man. I'm sorry, I'm getting all hyped up about that. But what Robert asked me, I don't like doing this very often, but can you write me reference letters to colleges that I want to go to? And what I said, do yourself a favor, do this world a favor. Let yourself know Robert E.B. Let yourself be a part of his life and what God's doing through this young man. Nothing but
That's
God
so
makes
good.
sense.
Isn't God amazing?
Yeah, so good.
Thank you so much for stepping up and just
Yeah,
doing
man.
it.
Oh, so good.
That's
yeah.
great.
And I know there's people out there, not me, maybe somebody else. Let me tell you, it doesn't look the same for everybody. Support. Support. We need support. My goodness, it gets so tired saying, please, please. You feel like a beggar, a panhandler on the end of the street. Man, support these places. God's in it. Maybe it's respite care. Maybe, man, what we would have done for a weekend off occasionally.
Amen.
Maybe it's respite care.
Maybe
just
it's a
can take
meal.
the way.
Maybe
it's a meal.
Maybe
Just
it's
cook
call
us.
the person.
Man, I
and say, "How
love
are you
pizza.
doing?"
Yeah, that's right. Pray for them.
You know,
so it's so good.
I want to touch on that support because you've been a really big advocate with Second Chance Ranch. I've known you probably for about 2 decades now, and I don't remember the first time we met, but I remember one of the first ones. We had an event out at Second Chance Ranch, and it was we had catfish, we had kind of an old Western type of barbecue out there, and we were all outside, and I remember your children were there. We toured the ranch and all that. But what was the first time you remember hearing about Second Chance Ranch, and when do you think the first time that maybe you got connected? Because you've been at all of our banquets, you've been helping us with different things over the years, and you've been a real big advocate for our organization, and I'm sure many more, like the Call and maybe CASA and things like that. So
I had heard, I'd seen, I didn't really understand exactly what it was, and then I met a guy named Sean O'Keen, who I believe was on the board of Second Chance Ranch at the time, and he said, you've got to see it. And here's what I say. It's like trying to describe to somebody what a banana tastes like and they've never even eaten a banana. Man, you got to go take a bite of it to understand what it is. The thing is, some people don't like bananas. I don't see how you cannot like Second Chance Ranch and the lives that are being changed. And I'm not just talking about from those that need a home and a meal. I'm talking about those that now say, God is using me in such a great and mighty way. And those are those parents that need to be prayed for also. And that is y'all. I mean, you guys are being obedient to what God has called you all to do. And so how can you not be a part of something that is so great? And it's changing our community. It's changing our world because of the fruit that just is falling out of a place called Second Chance Ranch.
Thank you for saying that. But our community really has galvanized with our organization, and the state really has galvanized really to help solve the foster care crisis. Now, how long did you foster? Well, I'll tell you, we got 18 seconds. How long did you foster, and how many kids did you foster?
I would say somewhere around 10 years, and it may be in 7. And I don't know how many kids. I would say 20. If I'm guessing. I hadn't really thought about it, but I would say about 20. Again, we had Robert for a year, so that was so good. That was our first.
Our special guest today is Matt Brumley, the Saline County judge. We'll be right back.
Your family is somebody that take care of you, put food and clothes on your back, don't abuse you, stuff like that.
Bring that smile back. Where'd it go?
My name is Henry. I'm 16 years old.
Bring that smile. There you go. You got it. Nice.
I like basketball, football. I like to run and work out. My favorite team is the Chiefs. My favorite player is Travis Kelce. My favorite basketball player is Kobe Bryant. I want to be a pilot.
Tell me about that.
My grandpa, he was a pilot.
It's okay if you don't catch it. Oh, he wants you to go, go, go.
Water, right there. If I have superpowers, it would be bringing people back from the dead I love.
Do you mind sharing who you would bring back?
My mom. I've been foster care about 2 or 3 years. Bad, it's been bad.
What kind of family are you looking for?
A family like, they're gonna be there for me when I'm down. If I could change one thing in the world, taxes.
No more taxes.
No more taxes, yeah. If I have one wish, I have a good family.
Welcome back. We have our special guest today is Matt Brumley, the Saline County judge. Now, Matt, we've talked about already your childhood, your experiences with foster care, different organizations and things you've been a part of. I do want something that's important to me too. It's not Second Chance Ranch related, but we go every year, is Amplify.
Yeah.
Amplify is something, I think it's the largest music festival in the country. Is that right?
Of its kind, 2-day free music festival that this year will be August 8th and 9th. And man, what a testament to mustard seeds, right? And so God has used a couple of mustard seeds, me and a guy named Josh Turner, a mutual friend who was obedient and introduced us to a really initially cheesy concert. But it was more, we just wanted people to hear the good news, get together and worship in our community. And what started out is maybe over 2 days, 5,000 people. This last year, over 70,000 people from 22 different states converged in a place called Benton, Arkansas, to make much of Jesus and celebrate their relationship, but more importantly, to make that invitation for others to get to enter into a relationship. And thousands made a response to that invitation, and we're able to have follow-up. And so we have servants in all 75 counties of the state of Arkansas that are able to follow up, and we want more, and we want more people to serve. And one way to serve is to invite a friend. There's no burden of cost. It's free. Come in, and you're going to see the likes of artists that you would pay a lot of money to go see.
How did you get started with that?
So it was
And what year was that?
It was just an idea back in 2012 that I and a guy named Josh Turner
You were the
had.
you were the founder.
Well, Josh and I actually were, yes. And so it has grown and transpired to so much more now. We've got some partners, Pulse Evangelism, of all places, their office in Minnesota.
Wow.
And they come here all the time to support church organizations, to make Jesus known in any and all ways that they can, and support us from more of an organizational standpoint, and be able to go out and get supporters and people that want this to continue in this way, and to bring up the young evangelists around the world, actually.
You're amazing. You do so much. I mean, your wife and I, you are doing a great job. You've fostered 20 kids. You are part of the Saline County Foundation. You do the Pulse, a lot of Christian ministries. You're really a big blessing. We want to thank you so much for all that you do. Now, I want to we have about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
It's really important. I really want to talk to the viewers today.
Yeah.
We've been in a foster care crisis for a while. I think we've improved in the last 2 decades, but we still have around 3,500 kids that are in foster care. We don't have as many families that we need. You know, my wife and I get calls every single day for kids to be placement, and we just don't have the room. We have 80 in our organization now, which is a small amount of the 3,500, but we are really trying to recruit foster families. But I hear so much, people say, well, it's not time, I don't have the money, I don't know if I'll get too attached. I hear that all the time. What would you say to people that would say I'm going to be too attached when you've got kids living in shelters and the DHS offices and all that? I know you've been there. What would you say to those moms or dads that are on the fence about fostering?
Well, first off, I would say that all of those feelings are reasonable and all of those feelings are expected. However, with God, you're going to be so surprised if you can just, what I talked about earlier in Matthew 25, just read that, okay? And then say, I just want to give it a chance, whatever that looks like. Hubbards, you guys have been used in such a mighty way, and lives have been changed because of it. But I'm going to be very selfish for a moment and testify on what God did to me by watching a video. And then today, I'm got it cranked in my car as I drive a little 11-year-old girl to the 5th grade, and it was a song called Trusting God. If you can just trust in God, He's going to use you in such great ways. Mine was, okay, I think I can do 5 days with this foster kid. And then I I don't know the count. I said 20. I have no idea. I just know I need to be available for the next one and the next one and the next one. And God continue to use me. And the last one I had was a little girl that was born in a toilet while her mother smoked meth on that toilet. Very rough start. So we got her at about 5 days old once she got out of Children's Hospital. We had her for 10 months. And she would grab my beard and start to say things that sounded like Dada, and it wrecked me in a way that I was like, God, I think I'm supposed to have a little girl. I don't know what that looks like. We had 2 twin boys, and we just started to pray. And we prayed for 3 years. And we got a call one day at noon while I was giving a presentation. And I couldn't answer it because I was giving a presentation. And then I got a text, and it said, I think your daughter's just been born. And I was like, wait just a second, what does that mean? I immediately called back. And they said there was a 17-year-old girl that nobody knew was pregnant. But she had the courage to carry that child. And she said, I don't believe that God has set me up. I wasn't in the room to be a parent, but I got to make sure this baby goes to some loving parents. And that daughter we brought home the day she was born is named Maddie Grace Brumley. And she's my daughter. And so watching a film one day has got me a daughter named Maddie Grace who loves the Lord and loves people. Love people, see people, have compassion for people, pray for people, but get involved, get engaged. Pray with your spouse, pray in the mirror, but get involved. He wants you to just dip your toe in. And if you do that, woo, it's going to be a good swim. It's going to be a good swim.
Boy, that's impactful. So guys, say yes. Be a yes person. If you're watching this show, it's not by accident. God has put you in front of the TV screen to watch this. And be like Matt, say yes, okay? It won't be easy at times, but God is wanting you to say yes in some way. You may not be able to foster. You may not be able to even respite or do some part-time, but you can at least pray for us. You can help do a meal. We've talked about that. Be a prayer warrior. There's something you can do to help these kids in foster care. So I would encourage you guys to think about what your capabilities are and try to be a yes person.
Yeah. Can I just say one more thing?
Yes.
People look for what can I trust? Let me tell you right now, Second Chance Youth Ranch, you can trust. You can trust the leadership. And here's why I know. Because it's not about the Hubbards. It's who they look to.
That's exactly right.
And so that is what you can trust. And thank you for being used. And thank you, because somebody's watching this right now saying, I got to be a part of it. I know it.
What a great show we've had today. If you want more information about Second Chance Ranch and be involved, we'll put some information on the bottom of the screen. Call me and my wife personally, and we'll get you connected. Again, thank you so much for Matt Brumley. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Until next time, thank you.